Ricard brings us to halfway this season on the road to 100 races. This season, 5 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Paul Ricard, a familiar sight and always a place where our champions seem to take the checkered flag first. And it was Freddie Slater yesterday who was absolutely dominant, winning by 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. And that dominance continued in qualifying earlier, but only just. Rashid Al-Deheri was well within 1/10 of a second, making it a Prema Racing front row lockout. The two of them were 1 and 2 in race 2 back at Hungary. Will we see a similar story? Will it be the same way around? Are we going to see history for the Emirati driver in Rashid Al-Deheri? Well, welcome everyone to race 2 in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine by the checkered flag. We will officially be halfway through season 5 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. This our journey to 100 races this season. We have 4 drivers from this amazing championship currently in F1. Who is going to be the next to join them? These are the stars of the future currently on the grid, and let's read them out and how they're going to start. It's Freddie Slater and Rashid Al-Deheri on the front row. A double pole for Slater, Clero and De Paolo. De Paolo just 3 points back from Slater. They swapped places in the championship yesterday. Akshay Bora and Enzo Deligny will be on row 3. Akshay Bora performing very well this weekend. Kanato Lee and Evan Gilter for ART, both in the top 10. Then we have Hiyu Yamakoshi and Jin Nakamura, Nikita Bedrin and Taito Kato, who was on the podium yesterday for the second time. Nandavud Bedambakti is going to be on row 7 with Jack Beaton. Dorian Pin looking to get her first points in this championship alongside Ian Eichmans, who is the top rookie. Then we have Ye Reinhardt and Michael Belov on row 9. Michael Belov started on the second row yesterday. Dion Gauda concludes the top 20 with Zach David. Ricky Liu and Edu Robinson will be next, and then it's Edouard Borgner, the French driver, next along with Giovanni Maschio, and Tim Gerhards completes the grid with Yaroslav Veselau, and that will be your order. What a turnaround for Rashid Al-Deheri. He's just to the bottom left of your screen in the blue Yas Heat livery. Not in the same colours as Freddie Slater, but they are both Prema Racing drivers. Rashid, a Mercedes-backed driver, didn't even start yesterday around middle of the screen in the pit lane. That's where he was yesterday, jumping out the car. He had a slow puncture in qualifying, which meant he'd qualified down on the 8th row. We had to get a recovery truck out to him to get him back to the pit lane. And the decision was taken by him and the team that they were not going to participate in the race. They put full focus on today, and what a decision that was, because he's now got and put it on the front row. Can he go and make history for his country here and go and take the checkered flag first? I think he'll be a very good result for him if he can. He's doing a great job in the championship. P7 in terms of the championship. The 2 to watch out for: Freddie Slater leading the way, and Matteo De Paolo, who is just behind Rashid Al-Deheri. They've been pretty inseparable so far this season, particularly in the last couple of rounds. Matteo De Paolo, along with Hiyu Yamakoshi, are the only drivers to score in every single round, and Yamakoshi starts inside the top 10. He's 5 back on the inside row. So a really good performance from Yamakoshi. Super consistent. And we've got a great race coming up ahead of us here, I'm sure. Yesterday it was Freddie Slater setting the pace early. And then he just appeared to look after his tyres and really got the hammer down going into the second half of the race. And just set a pace that no one could keep on top of. But he's got different company now this time, and I'll be interested to see how the field deal with that. Okay, that's Yaroslav Veselau, who doesn't appear to be moving from the grid. Now, we had a Santalot car in problems yesterday with Nikita Bedrin. I'm going to assume this is a complete coincidence, to be honest. Nikita Bedrin stalled on the grid yesterday, and a real shame that Yaroslav Veselau has had the same problem. Well, Nikita Bedrin yesterday came from the pit lane and went all the way up into 14th place. And it seems we've got a problem here for Yaroslav Veselau. That's a real shame for him. The field making their way now down towards down to the chicane, down the back straight. In terms of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, if you are new to it, we score points for the top 10 in this championship. Pretty similar points format to Formula 1. There's no points for pole position or fastest lap. It's just your points for your top 10. And they have a push-to-pass system, which they can use as well. They get that available to them when they hit 4th gear. And they get 5 uses of this push-to-pass system once we complete the first lap of racing. So similar when we have a safety car restart as well. And we do not know when they're using that. The drivers don't know when each other are using that as well. There's nothing on the car that gives a signal to us that says they're doing that to visually or nor in timing as well. So it makes for really good strategy. Field making their way round now. They would have had a lot of learning throughout the race yesterday, and often in second races we see different kind of strategy play out from the drivers, and I think this is going to be a good one to follow in terms of championship. It's whoever really finishes ahead between Slater and De Paolo. Deligny is 3rd in the championship, just a couple of points ahead of Pedro Clero. Then it's Gilter, Yamakoshi, Deheri, Bora, Kato and Kanato Lee. That is the top 10 in the championship. The race will be 30 minutes plus an additional lap. And Freddie Slater is bringing us down the start-finish straight now. Mercedes backed. Rashid Deheri alongside him will be looking, I'm sure, to get on the attack as quickly as possible as they pull into their grid spots down this start-finish straight. Well, thank you all for your company. If you are joining us for the first time, a warm welcome to you, and it is a warm welcome here at Paul Ricard to round 5, race 2 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. This officially does mark halfway of season 5 of this championship. And we have our championship leader to the right-hand side of screen, 2 back to the left, 2nd in the championship, just 3 points back. Matteo De Paolo to the left of screen, Rashid Deheri. Can he take a historic first win? Green flag has gone at the back of the field to the left of screen. Rashid Deheri to the right of screen is Freddie Slater, and we are go here at Paul Ricard, and it's a good start from Slater. If anything, Rashid Deheri is the one having to do the defending from Pedro Clero in the orange and black Van Amersfoort, who thinks he's seen a gap on the inside, and he's caught napping by Matteo De Paolo round the outside there in the Trident, and Matteo De Paolo is going to gain a place straight away into 3rd. Can he gain another? Here comes 2nd in the championship, Matteo De Paolo, and now under attack from Akshay Bora in that white R-Race GP, who's gone round the outside and into 3rd place. Great driving from Akshay Bora. Clero now trying to gain a place back in the orange and black Van Amersfoort car. He's side by side with Matteo De Paolo in 5th place. Onto the back straight we go, and Slater, whilst all of this has been going on, he's been able to break away out front, running wide. Further back is Dion Gauda. That looked like teammate to Clero down towards the chicane now, and Slater, no need to defend for him, nor for Deheri, and Bora, brave not to, in 3rd place. Oh, spin! And that looks like Enzo Deligny is round. Home race for Enzo Deligny. He had a good come through the pack yesterday, but unfortunately he has been round at the chicane. And that's a real shame for Enzo Deligny, who is tumbling down the order now. Rest of the field making their way through. Didn't quite see exactly how that happened. But Enzo Deligny, what we do know for certain, has dropped down to the back of the field. Hopefully he has got going again and there will be no need for a safety car in this race, and he has a chance to get back going and try and make some places later on in this race. That's a real shame for him though. In terms of his championship, he will be under threat of losing a place now to the likes of Pedro Clero, who's in 5th, and running wide is one of the ARTs. Up ahead though, Akshay Bora, I can see, side by side with Rashid Al-Deheri to the outside. Akshay Bora did this on the first lap. Matteo De Paolo went round the outside there, and Akshay Bora now trying to get the cutback out of turn 2. Can't quite make it stick. Al-Deheri in 2nd, Bora in 3rd, then it's De Paolo in 4th place. Into the right-hander we go. The 3 of them all together here, and catching is Clero. He's not alone either. He's got Gilter with him. Then it's Jin Nakamura. Then Nikita Bedrin. Oh, Ian Eichmann's in the green and orange RPM. Trying to make a move up the inside of, I think that was Hiyu Yamakoshi, it was. And they gave each other the necessary racing room there to both continue on in this race. Into the braking zone, and Slater can now focus on his own race and his own tyre management, whilst the rest of the field are looking in their mirrors. Whoa, we almost saw a repeat there. Hiyu Yamakoshi running wide, running over the curbs is Evan Gilter. It's all kicking off in this second race, and well, who has benefited from that? Let's just have a look as they come into view now. Ian Eichmann's looks like he's the one that's benefited as he takes 2 places. That's going to be pushing to take what would be a second rookie win. Ian Eichmann's, can he get in the points in this race? He's had a PB of 12th this season, and he's making his way through the field nicely. I say this season, he's only been with us for a couple of rounds, so this is a really fast progress given the amount of track time he has lost in comparison to the rest of the field. He's been a very late joiner to the series. Looking further ahead, Nandav Woodbin-Bhakti has had a couple of point scores this season. It would be a very welcome return. Gap out front 1.1, and Freddie Slater has just extended a 1 second advantage. Round the outside, here comes Pedro Clero side by side there with Matteo De Paolo, and that's going to be 4th place for the Brazilian driver. Matteo De Paolo under pressure here, someone spun in the background. Meanwhile, there's a move going on here between Gilter, who gets down the inside of De Paolo, uses all the curb to do it, and he's going to make that one stick. Great driving from the French driver. I don't know who that was off in the background though. We saw a spinner. It's Dorian Pin. Oh wow, so we saw all the tyre smoke, and the left front suspension, I think that has been damaged. So I don't think Dorian Pin will be going any further in this race. That looks like it will be a slow trip to the pit lane, or even pulling over by what we saw momentarily there. It looked like some certain damage to that car. Round the outside goes Nikita Bedrin in the 10 in that blue and white Santa Lock. Great driving from Bedrin. I think we're about to see what happened. Oh, wow. Dorian Pin there making contact with Maschio, and his left rear has an immediate puncture, and he's out the race as well. Dorian Pin not able to continue. The right rear suspension has been damaged on her car, and the two just not giving each other enough space going into the braking zone. Well, that's a real shame for both of them. I'm sure that incident will be looked at after the race. But it's good to see that it wasn't anything more than just 2 drivers spinning round, because we did see them going into the path of a braking zone. So thankfully both drivers out of the car and okay. There's Dorian Pin, and good to see that she is all right. But it looked like just a real unfortunate incident where they'd almost not seen the path of where each other were going. Safety car out, so this can close the field, and Freddie Slater's advantage will go, and it just gives a bit of breathing time to Matteo De Paolo, who second in the championship. He was depleting down the field, wasn't he? There he is in P6. He'd lost places in quick succession to Clairo and to Gilter. Let's watch this again. Oh, well, now did Maschio move over into the path of Dorian Pin would be my immediate assumption there, but that one we'll leave to the stewards. Well, it's come up that that will be investigated after the race, but any movement in a braking zone is not looked well upon. So we'll see what the stewards have to make of that one. But just good to see we got two drivers out the car and okay. Slater ahead of Rashid Al Deheri. Akshay Bora is in third. Pedro Clairo is fourth. Evan Gilter is fifth. Matteo De Paolo P6. Jin Nakamura is seventh. Nikita Bedrin is eighth. Nanda Vudbiran Bhakti is ninth. Jack Beaton is 10th. And well, there we can see the car of Dorian Pin, and they're going to retrieve this one. The team getting to work to get those cars back, and that's a real shame for Dorian Pin. She had qualified really well in that race. Had a good chance to get her first points, but she'll go again, and doing a great job in F1 Academy this season, isn't she, Dorian Pin? So wishing her all the best for the remainder of that season. They're in a bit of a break at the moment before they head to Zandvoort. And she's on a great charge in that campaign, as is Maya Berg as well, of course, a former driver. And currently a current driver. Of course, she joined us at the last round to fill in for Tim Gerhards. Those two having a great fight in that championship. So whilst that incident is being cleared up, it's going to be a safety car to take us round. Slater will be ahead of Al Deheri. Akshay Bora did a great job, didn't he, to make those places. Brave stuff from him to make the moves. We saw some great overtaking around the likes of turn 1 and turn 2 here. It's certainly been a much more eventful race than what we saw yesterday, which the pace was set very high yesterday, and that stretched the top 10 very thin. So today it's definitely been a bit more eventful, and that can often happen in these weekends where we have 2 qualifying sessions and 2 races, and a chance for drivers to go through all the data a few times over. Oh, red flag. Okay. So there's clearly some more investigating that, or more clearing up that needs to be done. So red flag is out, and that's possibly to retrieve this car, I imagine. We've seen Dorian Pin get out okay. I can only hope that Giovanni did the same and got out okay. Our first thought anytime we get an incident is with the drivers. But I can only assume it's to clear up the cars. We did see Dorian Pin out the car and okay. I can only hope that that's the case for Giovanni Maschio as well. Well, the cars will be brought back to pit lane whilst we go under red flag. And whilst the any necessary things are needed to be done in terms of the incident we have just had. If you're just joining us, then we have had an incident between Giovanni Maschio and Dorian Pin in the braking zone down to turn 1. It's being reported to me that Dorian's okay. We did see her on screen. I believe it's just to retrieve the car. So that's also being confirmed to me as well. I imagine just in an awkward position, and we can't have a car stationary in a position when we've got a load of other cars going around, 24, 25 other cars going around. It's just not sensible. So Giovanni's car is back in pit lane, so he continued on, went back to pit lane. So that's clears up any questions we had around that. So he's made it back to pit lane. He's okay. We've seen Dorian. So let's turn our attention then back to the race that we do have going on when we do go green, and that is Freddie Slater will be leading Rashid Al Deheri. In terms of championship, he's got a chance here to extend his gap. He'll get the news to him now that his championship rival, Matteo De Paolo, is P6. And in terms of points, currently Freddie would score 25 and Matteo De Paolo would score 8, so would further extend his gap, would bring him to a 20-point advantage. For Rashid, 7th in the championship, this would, for him, help close the gap to the chasing pack ahead, and it would be another trip to the podium for him. Rashid Al Deheri, we saw him get that 1-2 with Freddie, and that was his 2nd podium of the season. Akshay Bora, we saw on the podium back at Zandvoort, and when we spoke to him after, it was a case of just wants to get some more now. Has a high standard of himself, and I guess why not? He won the Euro 4 Championship last year. Pedro Claro, P4. Much better day so far for Evan Gilter. I think he'll be fired up with this. Now the red flags come out, he'll see an opportunity of a home podium. Matteo De Paolo, P6. Jin Nakamura, 7th. Nikita Bedrin, 8th. Again, another driver who made a lot of overtakes yesterday. Nanda Woodbin Bhakti, 9th. Jack Beaton, 10th. One driver that could be one to look out for now is Enzo Deligny as well, 22nd. This just brings him back into play now, as long as he's not got too much damage to his car. We never quite saw what happened in terms of what led to that. It just looked like he was in a very congested pack, kind of first lap stuff, really, and he was kind of spat out the pack, wasn't he, facing in the wrong direction. Now, we're getting word that the race will be resuming in about 5 minutes as we see Dorian's car being brought back. But we never saw what happened to him, but I'd be interested to keep an eye on his progress in this race. In terms of the rookies, it's Ian Eichmanns who currently leads. This would be a perfect weekend for Freddie if he can go and do it. Double pole and a double win. He'd be the 8th driver to do the double and the first since James Wharton at Barcelona last year. We've seen I haven't seen the double been done here, but we've seen it done 9 times now by 7 different drivers. Gregoire Saucy, Paul Aaron, Tim Tramnitz, Martinius Stenchorn, Rafa Kamara, Tuka Tapanen, and also James Wharton as well. So not yet this season, so he'd be the first this season to do it. And that could be a kind of a real stamp of authority in terms of his championship lead. But Matteo De Paolo will have something to say about that there in P6, the only driver to be in the points every single race along with Hiyu Yamakoshi. But Yamakoshi currently down in the 14th place, so not having the best of races by his standards so far, and what has been very high standards of himself. Paul Ricard's been always been a place we've come to in this championship ever since we've been going in 2021. Had some really great races here. It's actually been one that's thrown up some mixed conditions this weekend. That has also continued as well. Adrian David won here back in 2021 with Gregoire Saucy. who would go on to become our champion that year. Paul Aron and Gabriele Mini won in 2022. And then we did see the French win for Alessandro Giusti for G4 Racing in 2023 with Andrea Kimi Antonelli for Prema Racing, who then went on to win the title, and Rafa Kamara won last year with Alessandro Giusti. Again, that time for ART Grand Prix, French driver with the French team. It was quite a special win for him. So we've had 3 French wins for 2 drivers and 3 champions win here as well. It seems to fall in the middle of the season, and where we really start to see the championship leaders start to progress, and that's been the case this weekend with Matteo and Freddie doing a really good job so far. Rashid, though, also up there. Akshay as well. It's been a very competitive weekend overall. We're on the road to 100 races this season. What a celebration it will be when we get to the end of the season at Monza. Already excited for that one. Who will be in the showdown when we get there is the question. It's going to be a fascinating battle that plays out, I'm sure, throughout the next 5 rounds. After this, we will go to Imola for round 6 of the season. So a chance of home wins for the Italian drivers, the likes of Matteo De Paolo. I'm sure we'll be really looking forward to the prospect of that. Then it is off to the Red Bull Ring. That always provides some of the most exciting racing. We've had races with pit stops there in the past. It's really an exciting venue. Barcelona, and one of their favourites for all the drivers. Hockenheim will be next, and that's another track where we've seen great races. We've started the season there. We've at times ended the season there. It falls as the penultimate round this time. And then we will go to Monza for the season finale. And the chance conditions could really differ when we get to Monza, but it's just a circuit that provides opportunity for so much overtaking and is the perfect venue for a showdown in the championship. Okay, we have the car cleared for Dorian Pin, and that means racing can resume. We first will go out behind the pace of the safety car, and then once the safety car is in pit lane, we will be at full speed. So thanks to the marshals, the safety team, everyone in race control for getting us racing this weekend and keeping us safe as always. Every track we go to wouldn't be possible without all the safety team around the circuit. Race control now happy with the status of the track, so onto the track go the drivers. And when the safety car comes back in, we will go green once again. There's Jack Beaton. Similar to yesterday, hovering just in and around the top 10. He's P10 currently. Kanato Lee behind him. He's got Nando Budum Bakti just ahead of him. And there is Nando in P9. This is a place where they can use that push-to-pass system. They get it 5 times. Will we see drivers using it, I wonder, on the restart lap or just after the restart lap? It's a possibility. Some drivers may choose to use it early in the race. Some drivers will save it up all towards the end of the race. It's a tactic that drivers will go different on. Ian Eichmann's in the 74, looking to get towards the points. RPM very pleased and impressed with his progress very quickly. So all the cars back out. Giovanni Maschio is still in pit lane, so that's 24 cars back out. Jaroslav Veselau has a chance to rejoin the pack as well, similar to Enzo Deligny. Of course, we saw him having problems at the start of the race. He had similar issues to Nikita Bedrin in terms of he just didn't get away off the line. So Imagine stalling on the grid. Could have just put that down to a simple coincidence between the two drivers. Now we've got incident between Taito Kato and Kanato Lee will be investigated after the race, so this very much will be a provisional result. I don't think there's any doubt about that one. A couple of incidents we've had so far will be looked into, and I'm sure the one that's brought out this red flag as well. There's CL Motorsport running currently. Both cars in this race, Zach David and Michael Beloff, 16th and 17th, so right together and well inside the pack. They're doing a really good job, new team. Axel GP will be back next time, and CL Motorsports, with the opportunity to come in, have done a great job getting up to speed, and I think brought in good resources in terms of their drivers to help them do that. Safety car will be in this lap, and no doubt that discussion of the restart would have been had between the Prema racing team and their respective drivers. Freddie Slater on how he attacks the restart, Deheri on how he attacks his teammates. They both know how to go and take race wins. They both know how to go and take podiums, and they've got to be wary of Akshay Bora because he was very quick off the line, wasn't he? There he is in third. Pedro Clara fourth, and Evan Gilter could he be the one to watch in this race, because he's been quick so far coming through. Started in P8, he's now in P5, and looks like he wants to make the move. I mean, going into turn 3, he was all over the curb making the overtake on Matteo De Paolo, but got through cleanly. So getting his elbows out is Evan Gilter. Wants to get through, and spoke to me yesterday about how he really enjoyed making overtakes here last year, and he was up for it coming into today. Keep an eye on that red and black ART P5 on the restart as well. Safety car is in this lap. The pace will be handed over to championship leader Freddie Slater now as we head up towards the final 2 corners. When will he get his foot down? Deheri will be hoping he can go straight with him, and Freddie Slater begins now to take control of the field. He's got this long left-hander to use to his advantage, and then it's that run down the start-finish straight. This race 2 of round 5, we go points to the top 10. We've had a red flag to clear up an incident down the start-finish straight. Sadly, we've lost Dorian Pin because of that, and Giovanni Maschio, but now, incident cleared, we can go back green for race 2 in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine here at Paul Ricard, and it's very even off the start. Rashid Deheri has gone with Freddie Slater, and they are neck and neck down towards the first corner as we are back green once again. Akshay Bora there in third, then it's Clero, Gilter, De Paolo, Nakamura, Bedrin, Bridon and Beating. Clero trying to get on the attack here of Bora. We're 2 by 2, aren't we, really? They've separated off the start. Gilter right there in 5th place. Then it's second in the championship, and Matteo De Paolo, who will know he needs to make some places possibly. Onto the back straight now, down to the chicane we go. There's Taito Kato in the 89, and is Clero going to make his move? He's getting closer there in 4th place. Is he going to dip out the slipstream? Almost did it. Akshay Bora was wise to it in the end. Gilter staying patient in 5th place. De Paolo likewise knows there's no need to do anything silly in a championship fight. Ready to pick up the pieces should anything go wrong ahead of him. But he's also got to be careful of Jin Nakamura, who's right behind in P7. After that, we do have a gap to Nikita Bedrin in 8th. with just over 10 minutes to go. Slater beginning to turn up the pace already here as Jin Nakamura has a look at De Paolo, had a look round the outside there. Wasn't quite able to make it through, but he is attacking one of the top drivers in this title fight, isn't he? Oh, there we go. That was a attempted move from Gilter. I think that was, he was side by side with Pedro Clero. In fact, it was De Paolo, apologies. So Matteo De Paolo going side by side with Gilter, and Matteo De Paolo beginning to bring himself back up the top 5. He's going to be side by side with Gilter and forced to go over the runoff. Matteo De Paolo now, well, what do we do here? We had this happen yesterday. Matteo De Paolo, for now, is going to stay ahead of Evan Gilter, who's now under threat from Jin Nakamura, who goes round the outside. Gilter almost spinning. How on earth did he manage to save that? Gilter almost fully sideways. Jin Nakamura concedes the position back on the exit of the corner. So he's allowed Gilter to go back through. This has all brought Nikita Bedrin back into play. And Matteo De Paolo is through and into 5th place. So lots of events unfolding in the space of around 3-4 corners there. What we are left with is Matteo De Paolo in 5th. Evan Gilter is somehow still in P6. And then it is Jin Nakamura in 7th. Right, round the chicane and up towards turn 10. The top 4 are escaping because of all of that fighting. But De Paolo has given himself another position, and with that, 2 more points in this championship. Of course, we're only halfway through, but it all still counts, and drivers may not be thinking of that at this stage, but every result counts come the end of the season. Round the long left-hander now, down in towards the final corner. That's the number 9 of Zach David, Dion Gauda. Next along, just trying to defend from Enzo Deligny, who has made progress. He's gained 3 places off the restart, and is he about to gain another? I think so. He was side by side there with Dion Gauda. Through come the field, and there goes Nando Binambakdi, and I think there was possibly a place gain there for Enzo Deligny. So he is making ground and will not want to be in the move to wait around, and he has gone through. So next on his list will be Michael Belov. There's Tim Gerhard's further back. Oh, bit of a moment, just went too wide on the curb, it seems, coming out of turn 5, and that just unsettled his car. The slipstream train heads down to the chicane, and Enzo once again. Here comes the French driver making another place. So now he's up to P17, so 5 places gained since the restart, and I'm sure he'll be on for another one here. Zach David is next, and he's already right up the back of Zach David in towards this turn 10 right-hander. Are we going to see another place gain? This is really good stuff from Enzo, even if he's not to walk away with any points. It's a great comeback drive. There we go. Enzo Deligny down the inside. Just snuck through, didn't he? But he's getting closer all the time. That puts him P16, and he's got time to make more. Just coming into the left-hand side of shot, he's now behind the green RPM car of Yair Ehar. This is just a bit further up the road. Ian Eichmanns is fighting with Kanato Lee. Out front, we've almost got distracted by Enzo's progress. Freddie Slater and Rashid Al Deheri are 7/10 apart, but Deligny's doing a really good job. Top 4 all together. Freddie Slater has a 7/10 advantage over Rashid Al Deheri. Then it's Akshay, Bora, Pedro, Clero, Matteo De Paolo. 1 second back. And Al Deheri that time did the fastest first sector. Bora did the fastest lap overall. So the top three are getting closer. We have a race on for the lead here. Al Deheri is closing in on his teammate. He's used that interval to his advantage. The same can be said for Bora as well. Whoa, someone goes sightseeing at the chicane. Who was that? That was one of the Prema cars who went wide there. I'm going to assume that was Jack Beaton who's gone wide. Yes, it is. He's tumbled down the order. So Beaton now falls down the order. I didn't quite see exactly what happened there, if that was, if he's had an issue or if he's made some sort of, it looks like an issue, doesn't it? Yeah, he's lost his front wing. So Jack Beaton has had possible contact there and has damaged his front wing. So I wonder if that's happened in the braking zone, and he's immediately pulled over. Rest of the field continuing on. Deligny's up to 14th place now. It will show that he's lost 8 places in this race, but of course he's actually made a big recovery. Meanwhile, this is a great fight for the lead, and it's the closest it's ever been. Al Deheri has now just set the fastest lap of the race. He's right behind Slater. Are we going to see a challenge from the Emirati driver this time? He is close enough, isn't he? We may see a challenge down the back straight and into the chicane. The Mercedes Junior right with his teammate and looking to go and get a first win. Fastest lap with him. Bora and Clero there together as well, and Slater is now trying to break the toe just ever so slightly. In the background, De Paolo is trying to do the same on Gilter into the left-hander. And Al Deheri is piling the pressure on to the British driver. Bora and Clero all there together. They are matching each other to the 10th of a second through the first sector pretty much. Here is the next cue. It's De Paolo ahead of Gilter. They've lost the toe to the top 4. Jin Nakamura next, then Nikita Bedrin has company with Nanda Woodbridin Bhakti. Behind that, Kanato Lee has the last point currently, but he's fighting with Taito Kato. This is Yamakoshi and Ian Eichmans. And Ian Eichmans, picks up damage to his front wing. So he's gone wide at turn 2. Damage to the front wing. And that's dropped him down the field. Jack Beaton has come into pit lane to resolve the issue he had. So he did the sensible thing, really, and pulled over out of the pack and has come into the pit lane. And that may be the end of his race. Who knows? A shame for Jack Beaton, who did take points yesterday, but that will not be the case today. Down into 3 and 4. Very close between the top 2 here. Al Deheri looking for an opportunity to get by. And with every lap, Bora and Clero are just able to stay with them. Looks like De Paolo has shaken off a bit of pressure now from Gilter. Just ever so slightly, and it might just force Evan Gilter to be looking more in his mirrors than putting pressure on the Italian driver. There we can see it. Just ever so slightly, hasn't he, broken away. These 4, though, it's like watching a replay every time they come to this corner. Inseparable. No one making any mistakes. Very impressive stuff from all of them. They are matched. Will we see any of the drivers able to use a push to pass to take advantage and get a move done down into the chicane. It's going to be a couple of laps to go here. We've got just under 2 minutes for a lap, so it'll be this and one more. 2 to go in this second race. Slater looking to do the double, looking to become the 8th driver in this championship's history to do the double. But Deheri wants to make history of his own. Wants to put his nation's flag onto the top step for the first time. And he's got a real good chance here. He's getting close. Since the red flag in the restart, he's taken full advantage. He's closed in on the British driver. He used that restart to his advantage. And now he has a real opportunity as the Mercedes Junior to go and take a win. They were 1 and 2, these two at Hungary, in this order. Will we see the same thing, albeit in the different order this time? Slater doesn't know which way to look in his mirrors. Deheri closes in the braking zone. Not quite able to get it done. But is that just a dress rehearsal for a full attack next time? Who has saved up, push to pass for the very final lap? Do they both have it in use? Has Slater been using it in defence? Bora there in 3rd place. He will certainly be coming into play, and De Paulo is now right under pressure in 5th place. Gilter preparing for an attack. We may see him make a move, the French driver. De Paulo is still ahead coming through, but only just ahead of Evan Gilter. For him now, he will be hoping to hang on to that 5th place, and it would be yet another points finish for the Italian driver, and he would be the only driver to be in the points in every single race in this championship if he is to stay there. And that's why he's where he is in this championship, doing a super job. Right, Jin Nakamura has the run on Gilter. This will relieve the pressure for De Paulo. Nakamura, is he going to be able to get down the inside? Who's going to be braver on the brakes? It's Gilter around the outside. Superb defence. He went on the attack to defend there, and that is why Gilter is a champion at this level. Managed to hold off Jin Nakamura, and he's going to have to continue to defend all the way up to turn 5 here. Nakamura trying to get the switchback, not quite able to make it round, but Evan Gilter holds on. What about for the lead though? Rashid Deheri closing in, and he set another fastest lap last time round. Is he close enough to challenge Freddie Slater? Slater just monitoring his mirrors heading into the braking zone, and looked like he'd done enough through the first sector there to cover off any challenge from Deheri. It's going to be close, but it looks like Freddie Slater has done enough here. Akshay Bora, Pedro Claro there. They've matched each other for the entirety of the restart, these four. The gap has been pretty inseparable. None of them making any mistakes, and that has been pretty much what's kept them in this order. Superb driving from all four of them, really. All would be deserving winners, podium finishers. A shame one has to go and miss out. Claro might try one final attack on Akshay Bora into the final corner. Akshay looks to be defending into the final corner, but out front we're going to get the double for the first time this season. Freddie Slater crosses the line, and it's a double victory for the Prema Racing driver to extend his lead in this championship. That is win number 5 for the British driver now. Rashid Deheri takes another podium. That is 3 for the Mercedes back driver, and Akshay Bora returning to the podium for the first time since Zandvoort. Congratulations to him. A shame Pedro Claro had to miss out, really. They deserve 4 steps on that podium, but a superb drive from Pedro Claro as well. 1.7 seconds was the gap between all 4 drivers. Pedro Claro set the fastest first sector as he went to chase down a podium finish on that final lap. But that is win number 5 for Freddie Slater, and he matches Andrea Kimi Antonelli with that 5th win. What lays ahead for Freddie Slater? He's doing great things this weekend, isn't he? He's been pretty unbeatable, and that's a real stamp of authority for him this weekend in terms of his championship charge. Rashid Al Deheri, what a turnaround from watching from the pit lane to standing on the podium. It does not get much better than that. Huge congratulations. Akshay Bora, well done. He's growing so much in this championship, isn't he? Proving why he was a champion in the F4 category. He's really backing that up at the Formula Regional level now on a consistent basis, and he'll move up the standings with that. Pedro Claro, P4, consistent again. Likewise from Matteo De Paolo, who picking up good points in P5, and I think he'll take that. Evan Gilter, P6, Jin Nakamura, 7th, and then Nikita Bedrin, 8th, Nanda Vudbin Bhakti, 9th, Enzo Deligny got back to the points in P10, so well done. Whilst we were watching that fight for the lead, Enzo Deligny did get back into the points, and that is superb driving from him, given he was facing in the wrong direction at the start of this race. He used that restart to work his way back through the field. He was sat all the way down in around 23rd position, so well done, Enzo Deligny. Kanato Lee, 11th, then Taito Kato, Hiyu Yamakoshi, Yei Reihar, Zach David, Dion Gauda is now 8 rookie wins. Michael Belov next then, Edu Robinson, Ricky Liu, Tim Gerhardt, Edward Borgner, Yaroslav Veselau, and sadly, Ian Eichmann's lost a front wing, as did Jack Beaton and Giovanni Maschio. Dorian Pin came together down into the first corner on lap 3, which brought out the red flag. Well, here comes Freddie Slater. He becomes the 8th driver to do the double. 2 pole positions and 2 wins. It does not get much better than that, does it? That is the perfect weekend for the British driver. He has had quite the season so far, but this now where it really starts to grow into it. In terms of the start of the season, started with a DNF at round 1, then a 2nd place, and it was a bit of a mixed start to his season with a couple of DNFs in the first 2 rounds, but this, you feel the moment where he really starts to accelerate now. 2 wins, and that is scary stuff, given his track record for some of his competitors, isn't it? Freddie Slater, with the pace he's shown this weekend, to get 2 wins and 2 poles, that gives the rest of the field something to think about, doesn't it? Freddie Slater, well done. A double win, and well done Rashid Al Deheri as well. That's such a good turnaround in terms of how he mentally came back to be sitting in pit lane to get it on the podium. A huge congratulations to him, and Akshay Bora as well. 3rd place, and he'll just want to add to that. Having spoke to him off circuit, he'll feel that's a good job done, but he'll already quickly have eyes on adding to this one and getting further up that podium. But he's proving why he was successful in F4. Very talented driver, isn't he, Akshay Bora, and could have easily been on any one of those steps on the podium. It was 4 for the lead all the way, split by 1.7, and that gap pretty much stayed the same from start to finish in terms of when we went from the restart. Let's look back at the race then. Freddie Slater led us. Rashid Al Deheri off the front row was under pressure. Matteo De Paolo to the left in that number 8 car went round the outside there to try and take advantage. It was a great attempt from De Paolo to go around the outside there, but then he'd be quickly under attack again. That's where Enzo Deligny was spat out from the field, but he would come back through to finish 10th, despite the fact he was stationary. We saw the incident in the background for Dorian Pin, Giovanni Maschio. We didn't quite see the full incident there, but that was where they came together, Maschio and Dorian Pin. That brought out the red flag because we needed to retrieve Dorian Pin's car. Both drivers were okay. Towards the last corner, this was a really good move from De Paolo on Gilter. Sadly, this was one that ended with a front wing coming off for Ian Eichmans, and he would come back into the pit lane and retire from the race. Jack Beaton had similar fortunes, sadly, and we saw him pull over at the chicane, but from one Prema to another, and a double win for Freddie Slater, and he becomes the 8th driver to do that, and the first in the 2025 season. 2 poles, 2 wins. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? Well done to Freddie Slater. Top step of the podium, perfect weekend. And now we go to the podium celebrations, where we will also have our rookie winner out there, Dion Gauda, as well. 8 rookie wins for him now. It's really good stuff. Still leads the rookie championship as well. Their points made up of overall points. Next after this, we will be at Imola on the 2nd and 3rd of August for round 6, where we officially kick off the second half of the season. Akshay Bora comes out onto the podium. Well done to Akshay Bora. The French team RSGP on the podium as well. That will be a really nice result for them. Second podium for Akshay as well. Amongst familiar competitors as well, in Rashid and Freddie, who he raced with very hard in F4 last season. Well done, Rashid Deheri, Mercedes Junior, backing up that support that he's got and that race suit he's wearing, and Freddie Slater on the top step of the podium once again, and looking so confident this weekend, and it's going to be something that a lot of people will have on their minds, isn't it? Prema Racing taking the win. They've won here with 2 champions before. Dion Gauda taking the rookie win. He's been up on that podium, I think, more than anyone this season. 8 times now. Akshay Bora, 3rd place for RSGP, and I think there'll be some happy people there. Enzo Deligny, of course, didn't quite have the result he would have wanted overall, but coming back through the field, that was a really good effort. Rashid Deheri may have felt what could have been yesterday if he not for the slow puncture, but he's, you know, he did say that's just racing sometimes to me, and he's proven that that's a really good effort. Freddie Slater racking up those trophies now. That's 5 for him. And let's end with this final trophy. Thank you all for watching round 5. We're now halfway through the season. We will see you for round 6 at Imola on the 2nd and 3rd of August. For now, it is goodbye.